Hello and welcome back to Bookish, and welcome to my Saturday Hodgepodge, which is just kind of my weekly kind of ramble about book related things. So this week in reading, I had an incredibly good week. This week, this was the week we did the buddy read of Cousin Pons, my latest honor-rated Balzac novel. I want to thank everybody involved in that. Thank you all for your awesome contributions, and I so enjoyed reading something that I love, an author that I love, with people who took it so seriously, people who oftentimes I find with Balzac kind of push through the parts that they found difficult. For me, oftentimes that's the introduction or the beginning, because there is so much description in a Balzac novel. And then hearing everybody's comments, and like people did independent research and provided information which gave so much more depth and meaning to the reading. Anyway, not shocking, not surprising to you, I loved Cousin Pons. I would not put it necessarily in my top 5 Balzac novels I've read, but I loved it. I enjoyed the experience. It is Balzac, and so that was great. In addition to that, if you watched, follow my channel, you watched my review of Transcript by Heinrich Bacher, you know that was as close to a transformative reading experience as I've probably ever had. I think in my review I said it could possibly be the best thing I've ever read. A few days later, and I still feel the exact same way. I'm still thinking about that book of poetry. Concrete Poetry is what it's called. Sorry, my camera's really shaky. I'm still thinking about that, and just really blown away by that work of art still. And I started reading Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead by Olga Tokarczuk, recent Nobel laureate. I've been having a little bit of trouble kind of sticking with it. I don't think it has anything to do with Tokarczuk's novel at all, or its quality. I am enjoying reading it, but you know, I had 2 really amazing reading experiences this week already, and I think I think in some ways my brain is like, you know, stop trying to cram so much great stuff in at one time. But I'm hoping to finish that novel up today and tomorrow. One reason why I think I'll have more chance to read is that my Christmas vacation, holiday vacation, begins today. Today's my last day of work until January the 6th. One of the great things about being a teacher is you get student holidays, just like you did when you were a kid. And so I've been giddily looking forward to this day when I could think about 2 solid weeks of no work and nothing to do but enjoy my family and read. And so I'm hoping to finish that today and tomorrow, because on Sunday, I'm beginning a buddy read. On the 21st, I'm beginning a buddy read with Britta Bowler of Edith Wharton's House of Mirth. This will be my first Edith Wharton novel, I'm ashamed to say, and I really am looking forward to it, and I'm hoping that Wharton becomes one of those writers for me, because there are a lot of books there. And one of the things I love most, I have a feeling this is true for most booktube people, is I love finding an author, whether they're a brand new author, or for me oftentimes a classic author whose works I haven't read, so that I can just, who has a lot of, you know, backlog of works, that I can just really immerse myself in their work, and, you know, over a period of years read lots of their books. I'm kind of hoping Edith Wharton is like that for me. You know, again, this is probably one reason why I like Balzac so much, because there is such a lot of published works that you can read. Being a Balzac completist, that would be something. I'm not even sure it's possible, since I don't read French. But Edith Wharton, I'm looking forward to that. And of course, looking forward to doing a buddy read with Britta, because my first experience of doing that was really awesome, and I had such a great experience doing the buddy read of Cousin Pons. So I'm really looking forward to that. I appreciate everybody's response to last week's. I kind of asked 2 questions. The first was about doing a short story series. Support for that idea was overwhelming. I asked people to suggest stories, and I got a lot of stories and authors. suggested to me, and that was great. I'm going to try to take as many of those suggestions as I can, but there's no way I can do all of them. My original plan was to do one a month. One a month is only 12, and without really trying very hard, I thought of a good 8 or 9 author stories that I wanted to read. I promise they won't all be American men from the 20th century, but there will be American men from the 20th century. But I am really looking forward to doing that. And along those lines, I got a copy of a book, and I know I'm driving in a car, but I'm going to show you this book anyway. I got a really cheap, mass market paperback copy of J.D. Salinger's 9 Stories, because one of the stories I want to do is in that. I watched Matthew over at the Mayberry Book Club. He had read, and you should go check out this video. I'll try to remember to leave a link down below. He had read and talked about A Perfect Day for Banana Fish, which is one of the stories in Salinger's 9 Stories collection. And what I would say about Salinger is this. If you read, as many people on BookTube I've noticed have read, if you read Catcher in the Rye and you hated it and you disliked it, and you therefore judge everything that you think about Salinger as a writer based on that, let me encourage you to read some of his short stories. I'm going to do one, and Matthew, like I said, talked about one. His short stories are so, to me, different, and as are his other books. Franny and Zoe, I really liked, and his series of novels about the Glass family, and they appear in some of these stories as well, are really good, and some have almost a surreal quality to them, which I don't think people would associate with Salinger. So let me encourage you there, and I'm going to do one of the stories from the book too. But one reason why I was so excited to get that book is that this book, the 9 Stories book by J.D. Salinger, is the reason why I don't loan people books. I loaned this book to my housemate from college, Gary, in 1989, and I still haven't gotten it back. So now I have a new copy, so suck it, Gary. Anyway, so I've really, all this time, I of course I didn't expect to give him back. I haven't talked to him for decades probably. I didn't really expect him to give it back, but all this time I've been mourning the loss of this book of stories, and so I was excited to get it. Another thing that I brought up was the issue of DudeBro lit, and I got some really great, thoughtful responses, which I'm going to try to incorporate into a video about what I think DudeBro is and what it isn't. A lot of the responses came down on the idea that people just thought it was like a pejorative term that people use in a judgmental way about certain types of books. Yeah, I think there's that. Greg over at Supposedly Fun reminded me of what's called the Berkdale test, in which you can test a book, a novel, based on whether or not there are two female characters appear in the book and have a conversation about something other than men. That seems like a really good, and I'd heard about that before, but I forgot about it when I made the video. That seems like a pretty good test. And then also a lot of kind of interesting comments centered around the idea that it for many people, what they kind of classify as DudeBro lit comes down to not necessarily the book or the author, but the way in which DudeBro readers throw these books and authors in your face all the time as the pinnacle of literature, and if you haven't read them, if you don't like them, that you must not be particularly well read, or your literary tastes are somehow in question, which that sounded pretty fair to me too. So anyway, I'll try to see if I can put a video together about that, and I thank you for all those responses. Anyway, as always, look forward to your comments in the comment section below, and thank you for watching.